Welcome to Man Coverage, another edition. I am Derek Williams.
I'm Danzel Moore.
And we have a special guest today.
Tristan Kahn.
We have a jam-packed show for you guys today. A lot to get into. The NBA playoffs have started. A lot of things have been going around the league, NFL, so we have a lot to get into. So, playoffs so far, what do you guys think?
Well, from my perspective, the professional perspective, I want to talk about right now the Cleveland Cavaliers aren't looking as well as I thought that they would. You know, I thought that LeBron James would come out and, you know, be the powerhouse person that he is, you know, change the whole course of the team, which he is doing a pretty good job. But it is just, I'm having a hard time understanding why in the world is J.R. Smith not starting over Kyle Korver. I'm wondering why, what's causing Tyronn Lue, I'm wondering what's causing him to say that he's a better player and a more consistent player than Kyle Korver. What do you think about that?
If you recall last year and the year before, Tyronn Lue has always struggled with his rotations. And what I mean by that is, like last year in the finals, he had guys like Richard Jefferson playing, you know, old guys who can't just keep up with Golden State. So I think Tyronn Lue has a personnel problem as far as rotations, who he wants in. And that just might be coaching, you know. We give LeBron a lot of credit for, you know, really being the coach of the team. But when it comes to the personnel decisions on which five are on the floor, I think Tyronn Lue really struggles with that. And because, you know, you got Kyle Korver and J.R. Smith. Now, on a hot night, they're 1A and 1B. They're both, you know what I mean, really good shooters. But as far as bringing consistency, neither one of them really have that. Like J.R. might have a great game, and then he'll disappear the next night, and same with Kyle Korver. So, but it's just who has the hot hand. But I told you about them Cleveland boys, man. 0-1 Indiana.
I don't think the Indiana is going to come out with a win. I'm from Indiana. Now I believe that the fan base and everything is pretty cool. I think that, you know, they're really behind their team, and I just don't see them pulling it out because, as we all know, never count out Mr. LeBron James in the playoffs.
That man
makes something. He makes something happen every single year. Every single year he makes something.
It kind of looks like he checked out. It might be one of those seasons where they're gonna beat the Pacers in this series. Don't get me wrong, but Toronto, round 2, that's gonna be a dogfight.
Definitely. I have a question for you though before we move on. I want to talk about Houston for a minute. Now, Houston, they're going to win. They're going to sweep them. But I want to talk about Houston versus OKC. Do you see that as being the West Conference Final?
No. Well, that's going to be a second round. So Houston's the 1 seed.
I meant the decider between the West.
Yeah. What's going to happen is the Thunder is the most dangerous team in the playoffs, in my opinion.
Definitely, they're very. But another thing, they're very slept on as well.
Well, here's the reason why. This is what I've been saying the whole year. Veteran players come through in the playoffs. So what that means is, as you've seen last night, Dwayne Wade went off against the 76ers. Dwayne Wade got traded from the Cavs. You know, we didn't think he had nothing left, and that's the regular season. We get so deceived by veteran players are lazy in the regular season. They don't really try. You know, they get their wins, but when it comes to the playoffs, that's where we separate the mice from the men. And we've seen all season that Westbrook, who wants a ring, Melo wants a ring, Paul George wants a ring. They did enough. They did enough to get into the playoffs, and now they're in. And you've seen the way they performed Game 1 against the Jazz. And Paul George, playoff P, that's a real thing. Hoodie Melo, expect to see him real soon. Westbrook, self-explanatory. So with these three on that team, they're the most dangerous team in the playoffs, and they're my dark horse to win it all. What do you think?
Yeah, I still don't think he can count out Golden State.
Oh yeah, well, when Curry comes back, definitely.
When Curry comes back, we have KD and Clay. I think that it'll go to Game 7 if they're playing the Rockets or
the Thunder.
OKC.
So let me ask you this: Game 7, right? OKC versus the Warriors. Are you sure you're taking the Warriors in that game? In a Game 7?
Yeah, they have more experience winning Game 7s.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. That's a injury.
I can't believe what I just heard. Now
the Cavs did beat them in Game 7.
I understand that, but here's the thing that you guys have to realize. Kevin Durant has 1 ring, right?
Correct.
Now, Russell Westbrook, Paul George, and Melo have no rings.
Exactly.
Only one of those people on that team that I've just named has made a finals appearance, and that's Russell Westbrook.
Correct.
Played against if you ask me, that team, that Miami Heat team, is better than the Warriors that we've seen.
Come on.
Oh, they've had way too many tools to beat them.
Okay. Who's the Miami's point guard?
Their point guard?
That year.
Mario
Chalmers. Mario Chalmers, right?
I'm not going to talk.
Mario Chalmers. Okay,
Chalmers,
Steph Curry's better than him. Who's Miami's shooting guard? Dwayne Wade, right?
Yeah.
Klay Thompson.
Now, are we just gonna disregard Ray Allen? Are we just gonna disregard him? Ray Allen is not a better shooter than Steph Curry that year. That year, Steph Curry was in the ring.
Klay are both better shooters than Ray Allen. Both of them. Both of them. Both of them. So look. So you got Curry, Thompson, probably the best backcourt we've ever seen. Already better than Mario Chalmers and Dwayne Wade. So
Klay Thompson, you're telling me Klay Thompson is gonna lock down somebody like Chris Bosh? So you're telling me that Iguodala could have locked somebody down. So you're telling me Draymond Green is going to lock down somebody like Chris Bosh back there?
Draymond Green plays great defense.
He does play great defense. He's been playing dirty defense for the past couple of weeks.
Draymond Green, I feel like, is better now than Chris Bosh was in Miami.
Last night he hit a jump shot and 2 threes, right?
Well, yeah.
So if he makes those shots, do you think that he's going to make those shots on LeBron James if he's guarding him? LeBron James, who's won the defensive MVP 2 years in a row that year. Is he making those shots? Is Curry making those shots on LeBron James back then?
Come on, man.
That LeBron James was the greatest LeBron James that we've ever seen.
But that doesn't make the Heat the best team we've ever seen. That team was
I'm not saying that they are the best team that we've ever seen. I'm still saying the '96 Bulls.
Yeah.
But it's the Warriors. It's last year's Warriors were ridiculous. It's not even close. You have 3 guys who can put the ball in the air and they can go to the cup. Like they can shoot from anywhere on the court. You can't stop that.
I can say
double team one.
Even like four of their starters, Draymond can hit shots if he gets heated up.
Like we don't acknowledge Draymond offensively.
Yeah.
And he's an offensive power.
He's not a we seen the 2016 finals, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. He hit 4 3-pointers in a row.
Yeah.
I remember. I just know if he wasn't suspended for that Game 6.
Things would have been different.
Things would have been a little differently.
The game 6. Are you talking about the game that LeBron and Kyrie had 40 points each, right? LeBron had 42 and Kyrie had 41.
Absence. Due to Draymond's absence. LeBron would not have dropped 41.
Who was stopping Kyrie Irving?
Oh no, Kyrie would have got his, but LeBron wouldn't have dropped 41. I'm telling you.
Why wouldn't he? He's the best player right now.
Draymond would have put him on lot. But woulda, shoulda, coulda. Anyways, Dez Bryant also got cut from the Dallas Cowboys.
Keyword, Dez Bryant was cut from the team.
Not offered a pay cut.
Earlier.
Not offered a contract. Release. Cut.
Now, he was released from the team, and like I told you at the beginning of the year, Dez Bryant is an overrated receiver.
Whoa.
And and here's the thing, and now the Cowboys have finally gotten wind of, I guess, whatever Stephen A. Smith was saying or whatever I was saying. They've gotten hold of whatever it is that they needed to listen to finally get it through their heads that Dez Bryant is not the receiver that's going to win you a Super Bowl.
I completely disagree.
Now, you can say what you want, but Dez Bryant hasn't been producing the same amount of numbers that he was 3 years ago. His best year was 2014, right?
Right.
He had about 84 receptions, right?
Right.
Almost broke a record.
Right.
Now, if we take that year and we compare it to what he's doing now with a way better quarterback, because if we look at it, Dez Bryant has had a pretty amateur quarterback at Tony Romo.
Amateur.
And he was an amateur quarterback. I mean, you heard what Primetime said.
He was good when he was healthy.
You can say that he was healthy.
Okay,
but when he was, did they ever win a Super Bowl?
Listen.
The closest they got was the first round of the playoffs, and they got bounced out.
Listen. Here's the thing with Dez Bryant. He's not overrated. Let's get that out of our heads. What happened with Dez Bryant is the change of quarterback. You see, when Tony Romo played quarterback for the Cowboys, Dez Bryant fit their system better because they threw vertically down the field. When Dak Prescott became the quarterback, they stopped throwing deep. He's more of an intermediate short guy. That's why Cole Beasley and Jason Witten and Terrence Williams gets more love than Dez Bryant because Dak does not like to throw that ball down the field. So that affects Dez Bryant's production. So now with that being said, I ask myself where does Dez Bryant go next? And if you ask me, go somewhere where they want to throw the ball down the field. You got to get you a quarterback that similar to Tony Romo that likes to chug that ball down the field. And you know what team comes to my mind?
Should be 3 teams.
I know what team comes to my mind.
Well, I believe, and you heard it here first, that Dez Bryant is going to the San Francisco 49ers to play with Jimmy Garoppolo. Ooh. I believe Jimmy Garoppolo is a similar quarterback to They both went to Eastern Illinois. They're a similar playing style. Garoppolo's a little bit more elusive. I'm not sure about the injury history with Garoppolo, but I know that he's more reliable going into the season than Tony Romo ever was, because with Tony Romo, there was always a question. Dez goes to the Niners. You got Sherman on the other side, so that's going to get him better in practice. Dez has a chip on his shoulder. The Dallas Cowboys, America's team, just cut him. So, like I said, he wants to go in the division because it's personal. I don't see him going to Philly. I don't see him playing with Odell. I don't see him going to the Redskins because Alex Smith doesn't throw the ball down the field. So there's no team in the NFC East that fits his playing style. But if you go to San Francisco, that's where Garoppolo, he likes to throw that ball down the field. And I think that would be a match made in heaven.
Now, one team that has right now, if you ask me, and I know we have 2 Patriot fans sitting here, one team that, if you ask me, has the best quarterback in the NFL right now, and most people in America would say that it's arguable. And Aaron Rodgers and the Packers have a great chance of getting Dez Bryant. Now, Dez Bryant may have to take a pay cut, may have to do whatever he has to do to make sure that he ends up on a roster. But the number one thing that he needs to secure is a job, point blank period. Before we talk about winning championships, we need to make sure that Dez Bryant secures a job. But the team that has really been slept on, that everyone needs to look at and has a pretty great quarterback and Super Bowl champion, and right now one of the best receivers ever to start a rookie year, and that is, right now, the New Orleans Saints. With Michael Thomas on the other side of Dez Bryant, that team could be pretty dangerous. They already have a great defense. They lacked receivers as far as just, well, not Michael Thomas, but Michael Thomas was he's a freak. Yeah. He's not very fast, but he makes up for it with his strong body and with his hands. Yeah. So
I can see it.
That team right there could be a dangerous, nasty team.
With Drew Brees throwing Dez the ball, woo.
See, I have a totally different opinion on this.
What do you think?
I think he's going to go to a team without a championship quarterback, but still one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the league, in my opinion.
And what team is that?
The Detroit Lions.
Ooh.
Wow.
Just for the reason he has an almost very similar play style as Calvin Johnson. Very similar play style.
Okay.
Matthew Stafford throws more deep balls down the field than every other quarterback. I think he would fit the system perfectly.
I would agree. I think Detroit would be a great fit for him. Bring that Calvin Johnson type offense back. I can definitely see that. Well, we'll see what Dez ends up. I say Niners. He says Detroit. He says either the Saints or the Packers. So check back in maybe 2 weeks from now to see which one of us was right, because you heard it here first. I think he's going to end up with the 49ers. But Denzel, what do you have for us today? Man to man.
Wow. This week has been a very, very crazy week as far as sports. There's not really too many things that you can just narrow down and talk about the best thing. But right now, I'm going to talk about Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick, as most of America knows, as being labeled that SOB that Donald Trump says to leave the NFL. And what he did was a lot of people don't know that Colin Kaepernick opted out of his contract. And it wasn't just so that he refused to stand up for the flag. It wasn't any of that. It was he opted out of his contract. He had an opportunity to play with the Ravens and turned it down. Another opportunity that came up with the Cleveland Browns, turned it down. And the Seattle Seahawks was the latest team, turned it down. Colin Kaepernick has been in the news multiple times talking about he wants justice for, Black Lives Matter, and he wants justice for all these different things. But the one thing that he lacks is to have a place in the NFL where he can just be Colin Kaepernick and be that quarterback that we've seen since 2013, as you guys remember, the Super Bowl runner-up. Now,
he had a tryout with the Ravens, and he said he doesn't know if he was going to stand next year, so they postponed it.
Here's the thing about that, though. Colin Kaepernick has multiple opportunities to play in the NFL. And what they're saying is it doesn't even matter whether you stand up for the flag or not. You just don't have to be voicing it out like how you always do. Now what I think is I respect what he says on the field and off the field. I respect that he wants to stand up for what he, not stand up, but kneel down for what he believes in. But there's a certain time and there's a certain place where we have to separate your job and we have to separate what you do outside and what you think and your political views. But that's the whole point of having a protest, that it has to be during a moment where it's inconvenient for other people. If you look down south, those people in Charlotte, they were literally flooding the streets, staying outside and blocking off all highways, keeping people from keeping traffic from progressing, and people were looking at them saying, oh, well, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? That got the attention to come to them. That drawed more attention to the NFL, that got more viewers to the NFL than the actual games themselves, because the 49ers weren't winning anything. They weren't winning any games, but Colin Kaepernick brought that media press back to San Francisco. So what I'm saying is I think that it was great to have him there, but at the end of the day, Colin Kaepernick, you have to stand up for the flag or you don't have to stand up. Either way, what are you going to do to get your job back? Or do you even want it back? Because you've had multiple opportunities. Now we want to know what is going on inside of Colin Kaepernick's head. What's going on to say that, oh, well, I feel like this is more important than me ever playing it down in football again. I need to make more money, so I need to just, and that's the thing, he's putting his mainstream out there. He's making it all about him instead of just the Black Lives Matter. That's what I think is going on. Now, you can say whatever you want. You can't say I'm racist because I'm black. And I love being black. I love everything about it. But the one thing that I can say is that Colin Kaepernick, I'm not sure that you really care about all these Black Lives Matter things. I'm not sure if you care about all that, because at some point in time, you have to look at yourself and say, well, what am I doing to benefit them, or am I just collecting a check after check after check every single week? That's what I think is going on, if you ask me. Now, you can say what you want about it, but Colin Kaepernick was a pretty darn good quarterback, but I'd like to see him back in the NFL, whether that means him standing up for the flag, whether it means anything else.
I get what you're saying.
I loved Colin Kaepernick as a quarterback, but I think that right now, what he needs to do, and for him, earlier in the week, that Colin Kaepernick said that he was on the same level as bringing attention to the black community as Jackie Robinson. Now, Derek, I'm going to ask you, what do you think about that?
Well, I'll say this about Kaepernick, man. Basically, when he kneeled, right, and he got blackballed by the NFL, other platforms reached out to Kaepernick.
Definitely, it's a sensitive subject.
And he created partnerships and different sponsors and all types of stuff. And he's doing a lot of things right now. And in my opinion, I do put Kaepernick in the same category as Ali, or like a public sports figure who actually stood up and fought for rights. I don't know what the end game is going to be. I don't know if he's ever going to play down a football again, but what his legacy is right now is someone who sacrificed his job. He sacrificed his job to speak on the injustices of African Americans, and that's what they were doing back then. Rosa Parks, she protest. So I put Kaepernick in that category, whether he plays football or not. So if he's watching, keep doing what you're doing. But
I love the fact that he does what he does. But here's the thing about that, though. Could we put him in the same category as Jackie Robinson? Because Jackie Robinson was literally fighting for civil rights.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. Right now, Colin Kaepernick, there's no way that he can go into a restaurant and they say, oh, we're not going to patronize him. We're not going to allow him to eat at our restaurant. Colin Kaepernick is not in danger for his life.
Well, it's a different day and age.
Definitely.
Jackie Robinson was, back then, of course, you were in more danger. In 2018, you got technology and social media, so things are more, examined than they were before. But it's the same thing, just in a different way. Kaepernick, he's been criticized. You name it, it's been done. But as far as him taking a knee and sacrificing his job to speak up for African Americans, whatever he does after that is on him. But what he did, I'll always appreciate that and thank him. But speaking of quarterbacks in football, we have an interesting NFL draft debate. Who is going to be the best corner/safety out the draft out of Denzel Ward and Minkah Fitzpatrick? What do you think?
I like Minkah Fitzpatrick. I think he's a great, tremendous football player. But I'm going to have to go with Denzel Ward on this one. Not just because he's from the Ohio State University, but just because if you look at his factual stats, you will see many things that his accomplishments, and you'll see many things as far as just, let's take a look at some of his accomplishments. Now, he was a first-team All-American, and then he was a first-team All-Conference. He was Big Ten honorable mention, and then he was Big Ten honorable mention last season, not this past season, but the season before then, 2016. He was Big Ten honorable mention, not even as a starter. So he was on the bench and still made plays to where he could get noticed by people from the NFL. Okay. And people said, this is a guy that could change the course of a team.
Who do you think is going to be a better star in the NFL out of these two?
I'm going to say Minkah Fitzpatrick. I can see him winning a Super Bowl someday, but Denzel Ward.
So basically, you're telling me you think he can be a Richard Sherman?
Oh, definitely. He'll probably have more success as him building a team and different things like that. But as an individual athlete and just as an athlete alone, I think Denzel Ward has this by a country mile.
Well, you say we're athlete, and I look at the comparison, and I see height 6'1" to Denzel Ward's 5'10", and Ward is 191 and weight, and Minkah Fitzpatrick is 201. So as far as athletics, genetically, Minkah Fitzpatrick is just a different animal.
Definitely, but if you look at the skill set, on the skill set it says that Denzel Ward ran a 4.32 40. Now, I don't know, listen here, that's not just speed, that is crazy speed. He was a state champion in high school. I was actually at that track meet. I was running myself. And Denzel Ward ran the 200-meter dash in 21 seconds in high school. Now, that's pretty fast. Him having a 3.9 vertical jump, and then he benched 16 reps at the combine. Well, that's pretty phenomenal.
I think a lot of it is going to have to do with who drafts these players. So, like, system matters, as we know. So, say, for example, the Denver Broncos take Denzel Ward. That would be a great fit for him. Say someone like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers take Fitzpatrick, or someone like the 49ers take Fitzpatrick. That would be a great fit for him to play alongside Richard Sherman. So a lot of it has to do with where they go, what system they're in, who are they surrounded with on the defense. So, because if you're telling me that both of these guys, like their first year, need to lead the defense, I'm saying no. I'm saying draft them and put him with a Richard Sherman. Definitely. You know what I mean? Put him with a veteran corner that in a great defense that has experience, and you let them develop. You know what I mean? So, because you see what happened with Eli Apple, he was supposed to be the #1 corner, and he didn't quite pan out. Ohio State, but
somebody like a Jalen Ramsey, somebody like that, put him on the other side of him. And but here's the thing. Earlier, just a second ago, you mentioned Eli Apple, but I want to talk about something real quick. Do you or do you not recognize that Ohio State is a DBU?
You can. I mean, what do you mean by that?
A DBU, talking about where there's multiple DBs to come from your university, which have a high draft pick or have accomplished multiple things in the NFL.
Okay, so you go ahead, read me the list.
So I'm gonna go down the list. I'm saying, not just because I'm an Ohio State fan, but Ohio State has had pretty high draft picks when it comes to DBs in the past recent years.
Name them.
Number one, recently just won a Super Bowl, and this will be his second Super Bowl that he just won, Malcolm Jenkins.
Okay.
Malik Hooker, first-round draft pick. Garyon Conley, first-round draft pick. Marshawn Lattimore, first-round draft pick. Eli Apple, 10th overall pick in the first round. Duran Grant, 4th-round draft pick.
Where's he at?
Doesn't matter where he's at.
Right.
He's a 4th-round draft pick. I don't see anybody from that team up north going first round besides, well, you know, Jabril Peppers. But who else other than that? If you could name me somebody else, Bama doesn't have those kind of guys.
Charles Woodson.
Yeah, but Charles Woodson never won a Super Bowl. Well, yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Won one with the Green Bay Packers. So, Christian Bryant, 7th-round draft pick. Von Bell, 2nd-round draft pick. All these names on this list.
What's the last one?
Help out. Christian Bryant.
Who's he play for? Who's Von Bell play for?
Von Bell?
Who's he play for?
Von Bell has been all over the place.
I wonder why.
But here's the thing. Nevertheless, these guys were drafted. And
but you're right.
There's a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys that come out to the NFL who don't come out drafted. So what I'm saying is nevertheless, these guys are very great DBs. My first 4 on this list are
good.
Definitely a team winning Super Bowl winning. Obviously, the first one has won 2 Super Bowls. So
Charles Woodson's better than everyone on that list.
Charles Woodson,
yes,
is better than Malcolm Butler.
Yes,
Malcolm Jenkins.
Yes, he's better than everyone on that list.
Now I'm gonna
future Hall of Famer, by the way. Charles Woodson.
So is Malcolm Jenkins. Won 2 Super Bowls.
Hey,
on his way to maybe winning a 3rd.
Anyways.
The Philadelphia Eagles don't have a chance of winning the Super Bowl next year?
No.
Well, that's a conversation for next week's episode.
Not with the Rams. The Rams stacked up. They're not going nowhere.
The Rams are a monster.
Yeah, Philly not going nowhere. But I get what you're saying. Ohio State has a very rich cornerback draft class, even though the last couple of names, we don't even know where they are, but the first 5 are household names. Malcolm Jenkins, really good corner.
Marshawn Lattimore.
Conley, so everyone, they have a really good, about 5-6 players every year get drafted from Ohio State. So, and same with Alabama. Alabama has about 5, 6, maybe 7 players that's going to get drafted. So you make a very compelling argument. But tonight is Tuesday, so that means more playoff games. You have the Wizards and Raptors, you have the Bucks Celtics, and you have the Blazers Pelicans. What do you guys think for tonight?
I'm going Pelicans all the way.
You going Pelicans beating the Blazers?
Oh yeah, they are going to definitely. I mean, did you see the way that Anthony Davis played?
Yeah.
2 days ago.
Yeah, he played.
Anthony Davis is playing like he wants that MVP.
What about Bucks Celtics? Who do you think is winning that?
I'm going with the Bucks on this one.
Okay.
This week, I'm just gonna say the Bucks.
Okay. Wizards Raptors.
Got to go with the Raptors.
Raptors. So who do you think is winning this? So you saying the Raptors are winning the series?
I
Or
think
tonight's game?
I think that they'll win tonight's game.
Okay. But who do you have winning the whole series?
I got to see how things play out. I can't give my honest opinion.
Okay.
My honest opinion is a little biased, but
I'll say this: I got the Blazers beating the Pelicans in 7. I think that's going to go 7 games.
Tristan, what do you think about that?
Pelicans in 7.
Okay. I think the Celtics are going to beat the Bucks in 5. Celtics in 5.
In 5?
In 5, yes.
That's at least going 6.
Yes. Listen, we'll get into that in my man-to-man. The Raptors are going to destroy the Wizards. That's not even going to be close. I think Cleveland, when they play the Pacers, I think that Cleveland's going to win in about 6. Cleveland in 6. I have Golden State in the sweep. I have Houston in the sweep. Who am I missing?
OKC.
OKC is going to win in 5. Utah's going to get a game. Utah is very formidable. But let me talk to you guys in my man-to-man real quick. about the Celtics Bucks series is very interesting for a multitude of reasons. For about a couple years now, about 2 years, I've been hearing nothing about the Greek Freak. Oh, he's so good, blah, blah. Listen, there's a rookie that I believe is going to be the next big thing. And when I mean by that, I mean the next LeBron, the next Paul George, the next Kevin Durant type player. Not saying he's going to be as good as them, but he's going to be that type of player to where when he hits free agency, it's like, whoa, where is he going? So
if you say anything but Ben Simmons, you need to be slapped.
Listen, so I watched a playoff game a couple days ago, and it was the Celtics versus the Bucks. And you know what I seen? I seen that boy Jason Tatum. Whoa, just he's amazing. The Celtics team they do not have Kyrie Irving. They do not have Gordon Hayward. They are broken down. And you're telling me a rookie, Jason Tatum, it's funny because it's like they are a tougher out than I thought without Kyrie because of Jaylen Brown and Tatum. And the thing is, I believe, with that being said, that the Celtics, are you ready for this one? Are you ready for this one? After that, the Celtics are going to beat the Bucks, right? And eventually they're going to have to see Cleveland. They're going to have to see.
I see where this is going.
And I don't know whether it's going to be the Celtics or the 76ers, but Cleveland is going to get beat there.
Are you kidding me?
They are not going to the finals. And I think that this Celtics team is full of grit, and LeBron cannot do it by himself. And we've seen it. When he does not have a good game, they lose. Before Kyrie left, if LeBron had a bad game, Kyrie can offensively carry the load. Mm-hmm. They do not have anyone this year to carry the load. So if LeBron is not having a Hall of Fame performance, they are going to get beat, as you've seen Game 1. And Victor Oladipo and the Pacers went into Cleveland and got a game.
Something is wrong with you. Are you kidding? This Cleveland Cavaliers have absolutely every tool that they need to win. Right. George Hill, the way that he's been hooping, George Hill, that guy there just alone.
You're trusting George Hill in a game 6, in an elimination game? Where you need points?
They can get the job done. Larry Nance Jr., I'm trusting all these guys that they will come out and just because of the city of Cleveland. I believe that the city of Cleveland has a lot to prove, especially from last year's whooping against the Warriors.
And it's going to come again if they
and not from the Warriors maybe, but I would say that the Warriors. I don't see the Warriors making it out of the West.
Here's the thing. I don't see the Warriors making it out the West, and I don't see Cleveland. It's not going to be Cavs Warriors. I'm looking at the Celtics. I'm looking at JT, and I'm like, man, that team is good still. And I'm looking at the 76ers, and I'm like, okay, Ben Simmons, please, Joel Embiid, put a mask on and get on the court. You know what I mean? There's a championship on the line. If this is the year where an Eastern Conference team can finally dethrone LeBron just because he doesn't have enough great players around him. So what happens is he's going to have to carry the team, and it's either not going to be enough or, his supporting cast is not going to help.
Do you hear yourself?
Yes, I hear myself. Remember, Cavs will not go to the finals. You heard
those
it here.
Blasphemous statements that
I've been saying it. I've been saying it. And what's going to happen is when they get eliminated, I'm going to come back to this clip, and I'm going to say, hey, I told everyone firsthand, I was saying it from the first week of the show that Cleveland would not make the finals. They won't. They won't. And we'll see. We have some great games tonight, but that's how we'll wrap the show up. Do you guys have anything else before we go?
Just before we wrap the show up, we have the final segment of Man Coverage here just for today. And I want to talk to my man, Tristan here. And Tristan is going to take it away, and he's going to talk a little bit with us about the National Hockey League and what he feels his predictions are for the rest of the season. What do you think is going on?
Take it away.
Well, if you asked me at the beginning of the playoffs, I would have told you Columbus didn't have a chance against the Capitals. Mm-hmm. I would have said Capitals in 5, Capitals in 4. Columbus went in to Washington, won 2 games. Now they're coming back to Nationwide for 2 games.
And one of those games you and I will both be at.
Yeah, we're going Thursday.
So I'm wondering, what do you see happening to Vegas? Do you see Vegas taking it all? Do you agree with the rest of America?
They're gonna They're going to make it.
Now, at the beginning of the year, I said it was either going to be Vegas or Tampa. I said Vegas or Tampa could end up winning the entire thing.
Yeah.
But I'm still pretty solid on Vegas. I hope not. I still hope CBJ is going to pull it all the way out. But what do you think about Pittsburgh and Vegas fighting for the Stanley Cup? What do you think happens for them?
Vegas.
All the way, or just like a clean
Vegas
sweep?
No, I'd say 6. I'd say Vegas would take it over Pittsburgh.
Definitely. So you feel like the Blue Jackets, the wild card team, that do you feel like they have any chance of beating Pittsburgh
If they beat the Capitals, yeah, for sure. I would have had the Capitals over the Penguins too.
Wow. Wow.
I just don't see Crosby and Malkin carrying him again this year. I just don't see it.
Now, I'm not even going to ask Derek what his blasphemous statements are going to be about that game. But what do you think? Do you think the Blue Jackets, they've won the first 2 games where they think that, everybody said that they weren't going to win 2 games.
Both overtime.
But both games were overtime, and now they're taking it to Columbus. Do you feel like the Columbus Blue Jackets have just won 2 games? Do you feel like they'll pull the rest of it out and they'll win the rest of their games at home?
I don't see why not. I don't see why not. I think they could pull it out. Go Columbus, 614.
CBJ is going all the way, if you ask me. What do you think?
Yeah, even if they win one of the next 2 home games, they're still going to take one away from Washington. Yeah. So,
but quick question before we get off the set. So say the Cavs do make the finals. Are they going to win?
If you ask me,
is this Cavs team a championship team? Like I'm over here looking at. I know you're a LeBron fan, and I get LeBron fans. I get it, but tell me honestly, you just seen Oladipo go into Cleveland and destroy this team. Is this team winning the finals?
Victor can do whatever he wants.
No. Is this team? Answer the question.
But Cleveland, I don't think has enough to win the finals just this year. Thank you. But then within the next 2 years,
when LeBron leaves,
definitely. Oh no. I think that Cleveland.
LeBron's out after this year.
I think LeBron and the Cavs are going to formulate a plot to keep him there. Whether that's more money, getting him more help, is what he's always needed. If you ask me,
he's gone.
If not Cleveland, Philly. But I definitely within the next 2 years, I see just the King, LeBron James, getting another ring.
No.
Oh, yes.
No.
Oh, yes.
What did you say?
I said LeBron James, whether he plays for Cleveland, whether he plays for Philly, whether he plays for L.A., whether he plays for anybody, I see LeBron James getting a championship ring.
All right. Well, that's my cue. And you guys have a great day.
That's going to wrap up the show for today.
I'm going to have to walk off the set after that one. Because you're not going to tell me that LeBron's going to the Lakers. And you know what? This is Man Coverage, and it's been a great show. See you guys later.
I'm Danzel Moore.
I'm Derek Williams, and this is our guest,
Tristan Kahn.
And we will see you guys next week.